up showing where we're going to this time. It's different every time we do this.
Every single time.
From EV Lux.
It's a wily little program they've got here. Yeah.
Truth.
What a week. What a week.
It's been a wild last 7 days in all sense of the word, across personal life, podcast life, everything. Life in general. It's been a crazy 7 days, man.
7 days. It has. But we're here. We ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
We're gonna discuss it all a little bit later. Before we do, welcome to the Snobby Boys!
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype. Throw that to the side.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Snobby Boy Podcast. I'm your host, Colby. That's Joe over there, my best friend, my partner.
PIC.
That's right. Man. So we're back after a week. We are going to be discussing our usual shit, which I'll allow Joe to explain here in a minute. But before we do, make sure that you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell, make sure you are following us on social media at SnobbyPod, please, to keep up to date on what we're doing. We're going to be changing up some things, but you will not be informed as to when we'll be on. So without further ado, moving into the episode, Joe, what are we talking about, bro?
Today, big day in the U.S. Other folks around the world too probably watching. Big Super Bowl Sunday. So
it's Super Bowl Sunday. Yep.
So we'll be rapping a bit today about the match yesterday, a Leyton Orient FA Cup review. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool all crashed out of this bad boy. There ain't going to be no more treble happening. So
John Owen said it best earlier today. He's like, I did not have Liverpool going out on the bingo card.
Against Plymouth. Oof.
Against Plymouth. Like, yeah.
So, for all of our struggles, we're still in this competition. Other folks are not. So, we'll review what happened in the Orient match. A lot of good talking points there with a heavily rotated squad, some debuts to talk about, and it was not short of drama. So we will have a lot to talk through for the Orient match. We will be jumping into some city and community news. There have been some updates this week that we're going to talk about since the last time we were on. And then at the end, we're gonna bro out. We're gonna talk a little bit about the week that was with the Snobby Boys and talk through a few things and let y'all know where our heads are at with everything that's gone down. So if you are here watching and are curious to find out where we're at, because we haven't really spoken too much publicly on things, we will be addressing that towards the end with Bro Talk. So stick around for that if that's something you're interested in. And we'll talk through that at that point in time. So let us start with the Orient match. Starting lineup, quite the rotation, quite the interesting decisions that Pep went with.
Zero Holland in the lineup at all.
Not even an option. Yes,
much needed.
He's been one of our guys that's been consistently healthy and in the lineup, so wasn't a bad thing to give him the weekend off completely. So, so interesting players to keep an eye on. Who were the ones that you took note of when you first saw the starting lineup?
Well, right off rip, Vitter Hayes getting his first start for the FA Cup. That was the one I did not see happening. That was the one that surprised me at all. I'm sorry. I totally just read. I was reading comments and talking at the same time. I can't do that. That's part of our.
I got the
format.
comments while you're talking.
I'm not gonna talk to the comments and read the comments while I'm trying to talk. No, but seriously, I just didn't foresee him being. At least, I mean, I foresaw him being in the squad. I did not foresee him being in the starting 11. So I felt that was really. This is probably the best time for him to do it, being fresh in. See what you're worth. You know what I mean? That was the one that really surprised me. And of course, Nico O'Reilly at left back was also like a
once again.
Oh, whoa, hey, he's there again. Okay, we're gonna trust him there.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then of course Nico Gonzalez, our new signing. Jesus Christ, that one's gonna be a hell of a talking point. For me in this episode, specifically because there have been so many people who have bitch screamed and moaned for this to happen, and look what you got.
Within 20 minutes.
Within 20 fucking minutes.
We're waiting a word on any updates. He was supposed to be getting tested out today and find out the extent of the injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But we'll see. I was very intrigued by the center back pairings that Pep decided to go with. I loved that he paired one of the young guys with a more experienced defender because he gave each of them a half. So it made a lot of sense, I think, putting Ruben with Hayes, considering they both speak the same language, and Ruben was only going to get 45 minutes anyway. Pep mentioned in the presser that he didn't want to put the two young guys together without some guidance in the back from a more experienced defender to kind of help out. So I really liked that he went that route and was like, Ruben, you're going to take care of Hayes and Nico O'Reilly and Nico Gonzalez. We had two Nicos now when they're both out there, but he had a lot of young guys around him to kind of to marshal in. And for the most part, it wasn't. I liked what I saw. It was nice to see Macca get a start. Initially, that was my feeling. I was not overly impressed by his game at all. So I was like, oh, great. Macca's going to get a start. He's going to get like a full 90. We're going to get him an opportunity to play inside too, because we got Grealish and Savio outside. So he doesn't have to go play a wing. He can play in the middle. And he was about non-existent in the first half and had very little impact overall on the match. I was not highly impressed with that. But when I first saw the lineup, I was excited. And then also seeing Marmoush given the opportunity to lead the line as the striker, main striker, not playing kind of in behind as a 10 was nice to see him. Still working on getting those timing of his runs down in sync with
he's so damn fast.
Yes, he's so fucking fast, and he's always looking for that run in behind. And sometimes you got to wait until you kind of make that eye contact with your midfielder, because sometimes they're still like looking and scanning, and he's like, "I'm going, throw it to me." But that'll take some time. But it was all the guys you highlighted. Those were the ones that it was a really interesting blend of age,
youth and age. Yeah.
So
like you really had the top end of the age, right? I mean, not really, I guess. Gundogan seems to always throw that massive shadow, I guess. When you see him on, you're like, oh, well, he just added to the overall age of everything. Jack coming on was nice to see, because he's caught a lot of shit lately for not having gotten minutes and for not being a part of the squad as much. Even talks of him potentially transferring out to another club. I was really happy to see him get on, and especially with a lot younger attack. I felt like his presence was valued in that moment, because what I've seen with Jack over the course of the last year and a half, when he has had time, especially with all of the first team players is that I feel like his confidence takes a bit of a kick because he's not the star. You get where I'm coming from? Like it's not that he's not the center of attention, like he's the center of attention, but more so the fact that like there isn't anybody leaning on him to be the difference maker. It's more so like I'm just having to contribute to this one really big dude in the middle,
right?
So it doesn't feel as important. And being on with those younger kids, I would get the sense that you get this, like a dad complex almost. You know what I mean? Like, here, kiddos, let me take you under my wing and let's do this together, and we can all be on the same page. Like, so I was happy to see him get on. He obviously contributed later in the match, which was stupendous to see.
I felt like the whole squad kind of took a little while to get revved up.
It did.
Second half was much better.
Yeah, it was definitely a kicking. I feel like we're still knocking off rust. Like we haven't. The WD-40 ain't working right.
Need a little
you need some extra lube.
A couple extra squirts of the
do a combination of that and some Astroglide or something, you know?
Right, there you go. Really grease it up. So Stevens, I totally agree. The start of the game shows kind of why Holland and Foden are needed.
Yeah.
He agreed with you that Jack played great. But we were certainly lacking a little bit of a punch in that midfield and creativity. And with Maka and Gundo being the primary guys. And then when Nico went out, Gonzalez went out, Gundo had to drop farther back, which is where we've all said numerous times that's not where we need him to be. We need him more forward. So it was just it was an interesting match, shall we say. Ked said, not that one. Sorry.
But we take
this one. 4:15 a.m. wake up.
I'm sure it wasn't. I really do feel bad for you guys out on the West Coast sometimes with these really stupid early matches. I mean, even for us, that was a 7:30 match, and it was just like, or 7:15, whatever. That was not what anybody wants to do on a Saturday over here. Is be up that fucking early, but ride or die for our boys, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's get into the key moments throughout the match that made it what it was, I guess you could say. Let's talk about the first goal for a second. What the fuck?
Dude. Unreal. That goal had probably like a 0.001% chance of fucking happening. Nico got shoved off the ball, kind of ran over. If you wanted to be a foul, cool. If you don't want it to be a foul, that's fine too. But the fact that he hit that ball from 5 yards inside of midfield and it hit the underside, of the fucking crossbar, bounces off Ortega's ass and goes back into the net. Like, come on, that's some utter nonsense of a pit. What's crazy is Ortega did the right thing by running back and trying to cover, but in doing so, he knocked the ball back into the own net. If he doesn't do that and he just like looks and watches, it bounces off the crossbar, comes right to him, he scoops it, and we're back off and we're playing again. So it's like you get punished for doing the right things as the keeper in that situation. That shit was
no shit. It was
yes.
No shit. But like, all right. So here's my thing. Like, by all means, never played. Right? Really don't know the goalkeeper etiquette and things and all. You know how to position your body. But I do know one thing, and that is because I grew up playing outfield in baseball, and I learned how to backpedal. I felt Ortega could have saved that goal had he not turned his body at all and just kept his eyes on the ball and went back,
mm-hmm.
and put his hand between the crossbar and the ball. And that was the save. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? Hindsight's always 20/20. But the instinct sometimes with Ortega is a little worrisome. That was a preventable goal.
Other times during the match, I was definitely like very uneasy with him being back there. I even with Ederson's struggles at times this year, I still feel way more comfortable and confident when he's between the sticks than when Ortega's back there. I feel much more safe personally.
And so do I. But there was a period of time this season where we did feel safe with Ortega, right? And as soon as that time came to an end and Eddie was back between the posts, all confidence was lost. And I don't know if you can get that confidence back because I'm not going to say he was peak, like better than Eddie, better than Allison, pick a fucking keeper. Better than that. I'm saying that he was worthy enough of being a City GK1. Like he was worthy of it at that point. I think my headphones are going to die.
Are they beeping at you? I just saw the red light pop up.
Yep. Just charge them like fucking whatever. Anyways,
on same said that's all right. It happens.
Right.
Same play. After it happens, Nico tries to carry on, but is within a couple minutes afterwards asking for the ball to be played out so he can go down to get treatment. Looks like when that guy fell on top of him, it was a very awkward angle because his leg was kind of up, so his like hip got kind of like jammed up into his back, so that certainly was not comfortable. So unfortunately, within 20 minutes of his debut,
we are without a 6 again.
And it's a shame because the brief cameo he had, I really liked what I saw out of him. I liked his long ball distribution. I liked his size.
He's got
to win the ball. Like I was very happy with what I saw from him, and it stinks that it only lasted 20 minutes, so we didn't get to watch more of him. So he was really the guy I was most excited to watch today or yesterday. Was to see how he looked, and then we only got a tease.
Literally a tease. And to add to your point, like there were points watching him where I felt like I was watching Rodri a little bit.
Clearly, he emulates him and has patterned his game after.
It's not
Rodri.
just me. It's not just me seeing that. Like I really do see the same framework of Rodri out there on the pitch. His IQ may not be quite as crisp, but it was still a good performance, albeit 20 minutes.
Yep.
Luke Stir, what's up, buddy? Yep, lots of work. Lots of work to be done there, especially now that we're right back in the position we were, as we were just talking on, of not having a 6. So it's like...
Yeah. We'll see what happens with... while we're on today, if you guys are scrolling other things and happen to see some news break on his injury situation, please drop that in the chat for us, because we're not looking at social media while we're doing this, obviously. So if you guys catch word of anything or see anything that's breaks while we're talking, please let us know, because that's super interesting. I want to talk about halftime match statistics, because ESPN, for us on our side, ESPN Plus threw up the graphic of the stats pretty much, and I was talking to Steph, and I don't care for the announcers, the pre and post game commentators,
Stevie Nichols, and
all that is just obnoxious. But the quality of the actual broadcast, like the
actual stream,
stability of the connection, the stream, all much better than other ones that I've experienced. So they put up the graphic, and these jokers on the broadcast were praising Leyton Orient for having a really great first half. And then they have the balls to put up this graphic. Let me tell you what it says. Possession stats, 76% for City. Shots on goal, 1 for Orient, which was the one that they scored from 50 yards. We had 4 on target. Number of passes completed. They had 56 to our 247. The expected goals in the first half was 2.3 for us versus 0.47 for them. So let's pump the brakes on saying Orient had an awesome first half. Did they play decent? Yes. if you look at that, and I think watching the game too, because obviously stats don't tell the whole story. Orient played well. They've defended well, but they weren't doing such amazing things to warrant the slobbering that they were doing and the shit talking that they were putting down on City.
Slobbering.
Like it was
there was
just
a whole lot of hot Tua from
yes.
the commentators over here on that.
They couldn't wait to throw shade at City and Natum, who was on the sideline pitch, doing the sideline reporting, because he's clearly everybody knows he's a City guy, and they just can't wait to give him shit and try to get him spun up about everything. And they're talking like this wasn't a vintage City performance. No shit. Did you look at the lineup that we put out? It wasn't. There were three guys that you could say would be regular starters.
Right.
Ruben,
Gundo, and Savio.
That's it.
Ruben's not even been exactly around all season either. He's
two, maybe three normal starters in that starting lineup. And I wasn't even counting Gundo. I was thinking more Marmouche.
Wow.
More so than Gundo. So maybe two. Two, if you put our best 11 out there, maybe two are out there on that pitch. And you're like banging on City for not having a vintage City performance. Well, of course not. It's a completely changed lineup, and none of these dudes have played much together. And then they were giving shit to the young guys like Kusanov and Hayes and Gonzalez. I'm like talking about the signings and Mark Ogden's bum ass just throwing shade after the young guys in the transfer window about we're not buying the top tier guys and we're buying a bunch of guys with prospects. Guess what? Every dude we bought, all the other big clubs were after them and wanted to sign them, but they chose us over those other clubs. And guess what? In the winter transfer window, dumbass, they don't sell the big names. You're not going to go get guys off of Madrid and Liverpool and Barcelona. You're not signing guys from those squads because all those clubs are not in a sell mode. They're trying to buy too. So of course you're not going to buy a bunch of frontline players. You're going to buy guys for the future. So the commentators, man, just absolutely were driving me bonkers more than usual on Saturday.
I'm pretty sure that I even said to you the fact that these commentators are what are like fucking the sport over here for people, because they're not saying the right things. They're saying anything just for anything. It's not helpful. It doesn't help the game grow over here the way they talk about it on there. You know what I mean? If you want to hear that type of rhetoric, go listen to Talk Shite in the morning. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's like I said, it's not really helpful to the sport growing over here, because you're given the perspective of something that isn't exactly correct. Like, and why are you slagging off the young players? They literally haven't even started minutes in this fucking league or this competition. Like,
very minimal training time. Like, come on. Did you throw Michael's comment about the Orient keeper?
Yes.
While I was ranting? Okay.
Yes.
Spot definitely on. Their keeper kept him in that game for sure.
Yes.
He played a great game.
He should be getting looks from bigger teams,
non-League One teams.
Yeah. he really did keep Orient in that game.
He was a Tottenham too, I think.
Yeah. He kind of reminded me of Flecken maybe two seasons back, the way that he was on the ball. And just very impressed with him. Very, very impressed with him. We should maybe look at him. No.
Speaking of people we were impressed with, at halftime, had a changing of the center back pairing. We brought Johnny on and Kusanov on to take care of the back line for us in the second half. And talk about a rebound performance for one Kodir Kusanov. He was an absolute stud the entire second half. Him and John Stones were a really nice pairing back there. I liked that a lot. And you got to see Kusanov's pace, his aggressiveness. I don't care that he ran over that dude and knocked him over. I was like, let's do that. That's awesome. Great foul, bro. Like, I don't even care.
Enforcer, dude.
I was like, man, like, come on. I was super impressed with both of our young center back guys. Hayes' ball playing ability, very comfortable on the ball already. They were passing it to him like he was one of the experienced defenders and that we've had that can play the ball back and forth with him and Ruben. He looked very comfortable on the ball. Still learning. That's the thing with young defenders, like learning positioning, how to track runners, long balls, things like that. That comes with more time. But you can see there's a lot of tools there with both of our new young center backs. You can see why we rated them so highly and paid what we did for them, because there is a lot to like about both of those guys. And Kusanov, I thought, was extremely impressive in the second half.
Extremely. He is exactly what I thought he was before we signed him. He unleashed the wrecking ball. Just absolutely elated with his performance, and the fact that he was able to bag a ricochet goal from Rico.
Didn't know nothing about it, but man, you got your first City goal, brother.
Rico's like, I got you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna hit you off the head with it.
Right, and then Rico afterwards, after the match, he said all the right things. He was like, he wasn't bitching and moaning like that it wasn't his goal. He was like, bro, like we were all so happy for him. He was like praising the young kid and recognizing he needed some morale boosting after the first one. So he was like super cool about the whole entire thing and whatnot. And he didn't know nothing about it, but like I said, you get your first City goal in a big moment like that, tying the game up. Like, come on, man! Like, that's fantastic.
Well,
and Rico, much better. Rico, that's the Rico we want to see after previous performances. Obviously, it's against a different quality of opponent, but I liked a lot more from what I saw out of Rico today, which is how we should be using him, not against the big dogs, but against these kind of teams and lesser competition, against lesser competition in like the Premier League, and spot minutes, not somebody who's going to be out there 7 games in a row. That's just too much for him.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah, Steve, the look after the goal, yeah, you could see he was fine because he knew it went off of him, so he was like, "That's mine," and he was like, you could see the emotion and some some fieriness out of him, if that's a word. I'm struggling right now because I'm just fired up for him because it was awesome to see him excited like that.
He was fiery.
Yes.
Not wiry.
Gotta love that. Replacements, right? Wiry. That's some replacements at old school early 2000s football movie right there.
Yeah, early 2000s. Early 2000s.
Right. Keanu Reeves playing Cordy. I mean, hey, I think Nunez got the rest to prepare himself for Tuesday's game. However, it makes me a little nervous because of his propensity to dive in at times. So it makes me a little nervous. But if Ruben can give us 70, 80 minutes, if Johnny can give us a full 90, Yoshko's obviously back. And if that means Akanji maybe can go play out there and give us a little bit more solidarity in the back line. And while he might not have the pace to match Vinny, he has the smarts and the positional awareness to kind of cover a little bit. So really don't smart. Yes. Yeah. See, y'all are killing it in the comments tonight.
Well, that will be impossible, wouldn't it be?
I forgot. We can't. Absolutely.
We can't.
Good job, y'all.
Dude.
And thank you for checking in and letting us know your ear by dropping some comments and talking about what we're talking about at the same time and not like going off on tangents. It helps us with the flow of the show if you guys like hit us with stuff that's what we're talking about, so we can flow together. So like a show, we're all working together, and you're a part of it. So thank you guys. You guys are doing a great job. Then KDB comes on, right?
Yeah.
And
dun, dun, dun,
game changer. Him and Phil come on. Grealish and Kev bring back the old school camaraderie and meshiness, if you will, and play him in. And what a finish that was from from.
I was a little scared. I was a little scared it was
gonna go because the spin was like it hit the right spin and bounced right in. I was like, hey, absolutely.
I'll take it. So, but no, that dude, the way that Jack dropped that in there for him, and he was able to break that run, man, that was vintage KDB right there. Like, that was so sweet to see. And it's, I think we all have to get used to the fact that that's the way we're going to have to utilize him, especially for those who want him to extend one more year with us. He's going to have to be used in a very small role in moments where it matters in order for him to be the most effective at this point. He cannot sustain 60 minutes anymore or more. It's just not – it's not worth it either, especially for him. I mean, he's at the end of his career. He's not going to want to be hobbling around. He's already going to be fair. But, like, any worse than he is, I mean, it doesn't matter how many surgeries that man's been through. You could put fucking – hyperbionic fucking cartilage in his shit. It's still like,
yep,
the routine of going through it. I guess maybe even still that's taxing in and of itself. I think for all of us who have played sports and growing up and have had sustained injuries through those sports, I mean, you know what that feeling's like when you've had the same. At least I have having the same injury over and over and over again, and it hampering how far you're able to even get with your team. But also just like in your personal life, like you can't.
He's got kids I still like to run around with and all that.
I feel the effects of my reckless abandoning of my body at my youth, especially when I'm out playing with my kid.
And like the immediate aftermath, once you go inside and sit down or whatever, that's then you really start. So. Yes.
Any day of the fucking week. Sorry, we did it. We did it again.
You go.
My melting. Yeah, 100%. Any day of the week. So wait, did that transfer actually happen to him going to Villa, or is that like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. They have like a whole new attack with him and Marco Asensio
on
the other side of So they made some moves. Whether it's I mean, if it was like 3 years ago, that's like a Champions League winning like front line potentially, but
sure,
2025 maybe not the same thing. Maybe he catches changing of the environment. For United players who left, Anthony put in a man of the match performance and scored a goal in like his first or second game with Real Betis. So as soon as he got out of the shitstorm that is Manchester United, maybe it helps them. But we'll see. Rashford's been pretty bad. So, he played in the cup against Spurs. Still crap. Okay, there you go.
He has now we know. His last name is just two things that are not good combined, like Rash and a Ford.
It's not good.
No, it's
not good.
Sorry to all my Ford lovers out there. That was a total stick at you. Can't dodge it, Raymond. No, just kidding.
That might be a hint as to what truck Colby currently drives. So
yeah, that's what I drive.
So who do you got for standout players? And if you guys want to drop who, I saw somebody had said in the comments that
they thought that Savio was man of the match. I want some context on that. Yeah. I want some context on the Savio for man of the match so I can see the perspective. I think for me, I don't know. This one's kind of hard.
Yeah,
because I mean, everything we got was in the second half. I don't want to give Kush man of the match because yes, he defended really well and he had a goal.
But 45 minutes might not be enough to.
Yeah, 45 minutes isn't enough for me to give. Yeah, for me to give that accolade.
Right.
Of course, the fucking Italian press love Walker. He looks half Italian anyway. I don't know, man. This one was a tough one. Aside from Kushyanov sticking out for me the most.
I'm apt to go Savio too. I think because he played some dangerous balls and in the first half he was one of the few guys willing to take people on and go at folks. In the first half, it was much of the same: get the ball, make a couple of fakes, and then just pass it back or sideways. But he was one of the few that were like really being progressive throughout the entirety of the match. So I can ride with Savino. Steve, yes.
Oh
yes.
boy. Oh boy.
So, because you look at the other guys who played a good chunk of the match. I mean, I'm not giving it to Gundo.
That's what I'm saying. I was sitting here looking
Jack
at
was
the starting
okay,
11, and
but
I'm like,
not like fantastic. Marmouche was good, but not like he wasn't a game changer.
He wasn't
yesterday.
Yeah, he wasn't first game Marmouche. And I think that's what everybody's going to base everything off of, because when he came in his first match, he was a real difference maker.
Yep.
And he's been kind of silenced since then.
But also think of who he's been playing with, especially yesterday. A little different midfield trying to get the ball to him than in his first match. And a lot of pressure taking off of him when he's got Phil and Erling out there occupying so many defenders. That helps open up a lot of space when you're not the focal point of the attack like he was yesterday.
I'll take that.
So that makes sense, I think.
I'll take your word for it on this one for man of the match, or whom was the most to stand out. I mean, this was just a rough go of it. I wanted to bring something up from earlier though about Orient and City. There was a journal that came out, a chick journal. I don't remember which crappy newspaper or whatever it was from. But it was calling Leyton Orient the anti-city. Everybody's anti-city.
Here's your opportunity to bring attention to yourself and try to get your name out there by saying something stupid.
Yeah, water, what? Like, what? I hope
there is no comparison whatsoever. You cannot compare the two at all. So there's no drawing.
I mean, Newcastle by like that much, maybe, but there ain't nobody like us. So of course it's going to be anti-city.
You talk about a club that's spent most of their existence in the lower tiers of English football. You're not comparing them to City and the other teams that have been in the Premier League consistently for the last 30, 40 years.
Could be Everton, just stay up there forever for no fucking reason at all.
So,
right?
You compare to other teams that are in their same leagues and in their same predicaments and situations. You don't compare them that way. That's just somebody trying to get their 5 seconds of fame and glory and attach their name to something related to City, because it's cool to talk about City and people like to get their attention on and shine the light on themselves where it doesn't belong.
I hope she got a big payday for that, because that was. I can't even. It wasn't good enough for me to remember to tell you exactly what she said in it. It's just I just see the quotations of Leyton Orient is anti Manchester City. Well, duh.
Of course.
Is that just saying that they do it the traditional way, and because we have foreign investors? Like, I think that's really what
it's lazy writing.
That's just real lazy writing. Really lazy writing, but yeah.
At the end of the day, though, we're advancing into the round of 16, unlike some of our other brethren in the Premier League that are
hardly call them that.
Out of the competition.
Dude.
So did what we needed to do. Exactly. Thank you. Well said.
Exactly. It really is. It's lazy writing. It's uninspired. It's just these are the type of people that sit around and could literally they could find the smallest speck of nothing on something and make it the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Terrible fucking another mic drop. Yep.
Like I said, y'all are killing it in the comments this afternoon.
Killing it.
morning, depending on where you're at, or evening if you're across the pond. This midday in the East Coast, it could be all different things. Because if you're on the West Coast, it's still between. It's just crossing into the afternoon, and it's evening time across the pond. So,
this is facts. What a wild turnout.
Shaq Hyman, I love that name. I hope that's your real name.
Totally not, but an absolutely stellar name regardless.
England.
We know.
Yeah,
we know.
Oh, yes, we noticed that very quickly. So thank you for confirming. They're done.
Yeah, they're done. Is there reverb?
Not for me. Y'all in the comments, let us know how cold it sounds if it's all good. But I'm not hearing anything.
I'm just gonna. I'm gonna check my.
You sound really nice.
Echo cancellation. Do I? Ooh,
you do.
Is it because you're right up on me? Okay. Yeah.
They love them the red those red clubs. They love themselves.
Dude, it's
late comer to the party, but he's dropping in.
Who it is? Hey! Yep.
Like
Snobby sons of bitches over here.
Damn right.
Damn fucking right. Good to see you.
So moving on into the next round. I will be honest, I didn't look to see when the next draw is happening and when we'll know our next opponent. I haven't looked that far. It's been, like I said at the beginning of the show, it's been a wild 7 days. So after the match, kind of just
all aboard the Orient Express. Choo choo.
Outstanding. So
yes, sir. Check it. We are going to go to a small little break as per usual. When we come back, city and community news, broing out, y'all. Talking slightly on some real shit, guys. Just slightly. Just be honest. For those of you who know, we're not going to put a whole lot of energy into this than we already have. Some colors have been shown over the last few days, which don't deserve acknowledgement. So we're not going to give them that, but we are going to acknowledge what is on our side of things. So when we come back, we'll get at it. Okay, bye. All right, everybody, welcome back. Just a quick little interruption there. City and community news, guys.
Ooh, that was a big chill.
Let's go. What's up, Abdullah? What's up, man? Somebody made a funny earlier about crisps, and I'll go find it. I think it was Michael who said it. It was quite funny. Yep. Ortega has been chipped more than Lay's. That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious.
Outstanding.
And the reason why they want to break some chips and curries. Where I want some.
I want some.
So yeah, man, let's get into it. Go ahead.
Like we mentioned earlier, Steve, fuck you. I love you, man. Joe chills. Exactly. It's not a snobby episode if I don't get one of those.
Right.
But as you all know, today is a very big day in the sports world. It is Super Bowl Sunday, and one of our own is a special VIP guest at the Super Bowl tonight. Rodri will be at the game tonight. The interesting part of it, yes, and it just shows the absolute mentality monster that he is. He brought his rehab team with him on this excursion, so he wouldn't miss any of his regularly planned training sessions. So he's still trying to get himself back healthy and ready to go. So you're down in New Orleans, you're there for the Super Bowl, and you're still going through your rehab process and doing all your trainings that you're supposed to do. So
as long as he ain't fucking climbing them goddamn steps in the stadium trying to get his fucking routine shit in, I'm okay with it.
Right? Yeah.
Elevators only.
Yes, that's all, my guy. So his mentality is goated, as the children's likes to say.
Is he playing? He might be. Who knows?
Hey,
you
never know.
What position do you think Roger would play in American football? I feel like he would be like
safety.
I was going to say safety or like a middle linebacker, maybe.
Yeah, one of those two positions for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're on the same page.
On the same page for sure.
Who do you guys think? Well, that should be something we should get into maybe later in the bro talk. Is what players in our squad think, where you think they would play positionally within American football?
That's a good topic.
It's a good one.
Put a pin in that. Next one, guy who played and captained us to start the game off, Ruben Diaz has been elevated to vice captain now that Kev has been promoted up to full-time club captain, which is what I think we all expected and are happy to see. Very glad that Rubes is now second in command, if you will. I know they have a leadership group that goes through.
What would it be? Hold on, time out 30 seconds. What would it be? So everybody knows that Kendrick Lamar is going to drop some knowledge on people tonight. What would it be if Rodri came out and did the news dropping for him? That would be fucking hilarious. I don't.
I'm sure he knows some shit.
I'm sure he knows some shit.
He knows some shit. So it's nice to see him promoted up. And it was good to see him back in the starting lineup and back in training. We got news this week that Doku, Diaz, Ake, and Ederson are all back into training and ready to go. Maybe not ready to go full 90, but they're trending the right direction. So we should be able to see a nice rotated squad and get a pretty strong 11 out there and strong bench for the match midweek on Tuesday against Madrid. So having those guys all back only help us in the get prepared for Tuesday and going down the line. I did see that Oscar Bob has turned his ankle a little bit in training. They don't, from what I was reading, it doesn't seem like it's super serious, but they're going to take him, obviously, extra precautions with him, considering everything that went down before. So let's.
Oh my god! God damn it, Steve! Let's hope not. Let's hope not. It is right? New Orleans, though. It is New Orleans, though. I'm sure the booger sugar will be flying.
Yes, 100%. So Rodri should be presented with the Ballon d'Or before the Madrid game on Tuesday night. Yes.
Yes. That would be
have it pitch side.
Fantastic.
Have it pitch side, please, and him there.
That would be fucking awesome.
I'm here for that energy.
Yep.
Other news, we obviously know Nico Gonzalez has joined the squad. He is going to be 14. We saw him briefly on during the match yesterday. Last we saw someone wearing 14 was another January signing for us, which was Mr. Laporte, who is plying his trade in Saudi Arabia currently. So,
wonder how he's getting on down there.
Haven't heard much since his initial comments of didn't really like it, and if not surprised, he was maybe silenced by folks saying you can't be saying that shit.
Yep, not here.
Yeah. So got him in, got his number. I think Steve Smith said still no Nico injury news has dropped. So still waiting to hear how he's doing. So let's knock on wood, cross our fingers that we get good news from whatever tests they're running on him to make sure he's good to go.
Yeah.
As soon as possible.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It really blows my mind that like we sign a replacement for what we absolutely need and poof.
Tip, and for it to happen on the same ridiculous goal that happened, that's some typical city shit right there.
Yeah.
That's the old school stuff right out of the old days. Steve is also saying that Gonzo trained a little bit, so hopefully that's a good sign. If he was on the training pitch, he might not have been too banged up from his collision there. Thank you. I'm so glad you, because I forgot to put that in our notes, man. Thank you for reading my mind earlier. Against Uruguay, another 2 goals and assists for Echeverri. Absolute baller of a performance at the U20 South American South American Championships. He was phenomenal. So goal contributions galore for that dude during that competition. So I can't wait for him to get
in the squad
and get around our guys, because he's appears to be an absolute stud, much in the lines of Alvarez when we bought him from over there and brought him in and for a relatively small fee, and then turned out to be a much better player than what the fee said. So I'm very excited about Claudio coming over and seeing what he can do in our midfield that's lacking a little bit of creativity at times and lacking some energy. So I think he could bring both of those things after Feb 20. So we got another. Well, he deserves some rest. He just played in a competition.
Let's not expect to see him till at least the very end of February, early March.
Yeah. So got a timeline, which is good. Thank you for dropping that in there, boys. But very excited for what he brings to us. So that's super exciting.
For sure. The signing that did not happen this transfer window, Cambiaso from Juve, apparently his asking price was upwards of 66 million euro from Juve, and City did not meet that valuation, but plan to return in the summer for the player and are going to be looking for several more additions in the summer window, hopefully. We got to start talking now at this point, with all of this happening, if we are going to have more signings in the summer, about who's in, who's out. I think we've touched on it quite a bit over the last few episodes, especially knowing that, we know KDB wants to come back for a year. Will that happen? We don't really know yet. Certainly Gundogan looks to be on the chopping block. What are some other players that you feel, aside from those two, really are almost definites of not having a spot come 2026?
I think one of the 2 injured center backs that are constantly picking up something, I think either Ake or Stones are probably moved on. When you bring in the likes of Hayes and Kushinov, and you already have Akanji and Diaz, and potentially Yashko if he's an option in the center of defense too. So I think we have a lot of options now that we brought those guys in, and who knows what happens with Juma Ba. Maybe he's somebody they want to keep around the squad too. After his loan spell out at Lens, taking over for Kuchi. So I think one of those 2 are likely going to be moved on. And as much as I really have changed my tune on Jack Grealish, the person, when he was with Villa, I was not a big fan of his. And then once he came to City and I got to know him more personally through his interviews, seeing him more, watching him on the documentaries, and you see like the genuine person he really is and what he was made out to be via the media wasn't the case. I do think with the other options at wing, with Bob, with Savio, with Doku, and then bringing in other guys in midfield, I think Jack might be one of our bigger names that might go. And then I definitely agree with McAtee. I think he's been giving more opportunities lately. Now that he didn't get a lot in the fall, but in the wintertime he definitely got more opportunities, and he hasn't grasped those opportunities quite yet. So unless he turns it on in the second half of the season, I think McAtee could be someone they actually look to move on. And if we bring in more guys, then those two guys absolutely need first team action. They don't need to go back down to the EDS at this point. They definitely need to get first team reps. And if it's not with us, then let's send, much like we did with McAtee, send him to a top tier championship side or a lower tier Premier League side to get some growth, because I think they both can help us down the line, especially Nico O'Reilly. I love his future, and I hope that
he has such good vision.
Yes, and he's got great ball skills. He's versatile, great size and pace, strong. So there's so much to like about what he brings to the table. So I hope he hangs around long term, but maybe for next season it's a go play for a lower tier team to get some first team minutes and a lot of minutes, and then come back to us ready to go.
Right. City Blue Peter. He brought up these names, and the one in particular that I'm gonna pop out is Nunez. Nunez for me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click that one up. That's funny, anyways. Nunez for me, like, I can understand why some people are like, get him out of the squad. He doesn't really fit in well, or he doesn't contribute the way that we need him to. Conversely, he has played literally every part of the pitch this season, aside from the position that he actually normally plays. So it's kind of, that one for me is a toss-up as to whether I want him to stay or to go. Like, getting him out and going and giving him, a place to play, because he is a good talent. It's not to say that he's not. There are times where, we've seen him over pursue or, take the wrong step. But those things are magnified because he's not getting in quite as much in his normal position, I feel like. I think he could stay and be a contributor going into a more reformed midfield, as long as he's being put there and he's being utilized there. Being utilized as a step-in right back, as a step-in left winger, as a step-in right winger, as, you know what I mean? Like, he's not being given the credit he's due because he's not being able to talent or showcase his talents properly. I don't know. It could be, he could be a casualty. I'm totally prepared for it. But I can also still see him working out within the squad.
Yeah.
And us not having to reach so far to restructure said midfield, because the one thing that I feel like everybody is so bent up on it about the midfield is the fact that we haven't really been able to transition well through our midfield, whether it be because Gundo has lost his step or because KDB is in the KDB of yesteryear, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different other playing factors as to why we're not the way we've been accustomed to. We need an actual right back, 100%. I was not disagreeing.
Priority number one in the summertime.
Priority one in the summer is right back and left back. I mean, because we don't know what this Ike McFarland kid's going to do for us, and how soon he's going to be in the first team. So it's like, we actually do need somebody who's going to be able to step in. I wouldn't care if it was somebody like a Zinchenko type again. Probably won't see somebody like him, but I don't know.
I like Cambiaso for that exact reason. He can help in both spots, and clearly he's interested in potentially coming. So, I like that option, and I think Nunez, while he likely isn't in the strongest starting 11, you do need guys like him who are versatile, that can fit in different positions. He's clearly shown that can be serviceable across a variety of different locations on the pitch. Wherever Pep needs him, he's going out there. You love that mentality from a player as a coach, somebody who's willing to do whatever you need and what's best for the team, whether it's good for him personally or not. He's willing to do it and help the squad. So you need those kind of guys on your bench and to be able to rotate in to give those frontline starting 11 guys a break. We haven't been able to do that recently because of injuries and all those kind of things. So for me, Nunez can absolutely stay. If they decide to move him on, I'll understand, because that means they're probably bringing somebody else in. And that's okay too. But I do think his problem is consistency. He hasn't been given consistent minutes, and he also hasn't performed consistently when given said minutes with his challenges, with his ball playing, all those kind of things. So his thing is not a lack of ability. It's just being able to be consistent with his ability. So, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. But I do definitely think that right back for sure is a glaring hole that they will be looking to fill long term come summertime. They couldn't fill all the holes, and Steve's probably going to really enjoy what I just said with that. So you're welcome.
I let it pass.
They couldn't fix everything in one window. We knew that it was going to take multiple windows to be able to solve all the problems that ailed us at this time. So
yeah.
Well, they recognize that too. That right back will be something that they're looking at for sure. So excited to see what happens there. Another kind of big piece that came out was our future director of operations, Hugo Viana, has left Sporting a little early. Initial reports came out that he was coming and joining up with the squad right away. Since then, it looks like, allegedly anyway, depending on what you want to believe, he's just left a little early, but he was seen recently with Cheeky. So whether he's officially starting with City yet or not, he has left Sporting. So you gotta imagine that he's gonna be in touch with, in an unofficial way, if you will, with his future bosses and coworkers. So I'd imagine he's starting to shift his thought process to how he's going to help us progress and get better in the summertime. So interesting that he decided to leave a little earlier than planned from Sporting. So
he said, "I'm going to go sit on the motherfucking beaches for a couple of weeks."
And kudos to you, bro.
Yeah,
take advantage of that shit for sure.
Go do it, bro.
So
you got big shoes to fill walking in here now. You know that, right?
Yes. You will have lots of help, though. We still have lots of amazing, talented front office executives. Steve, I thought you were driving and you had to,
Yeah, what happened to that?
You better be safe, my guy. Please.
No texting and driving, people. It's bad.
I'm guilty of it myself. So,
you know what?
Try not to. But
ever since getting this truck, man, it sits right in the little holder, my phone little holder thing. I don't touch it.
Good man.
Because there are too many stupid people out on the fucking road. And Lord knows it'll be me and the truck that I just got. Fuck you. No. We hit it at the same time.
Hey, man, we try to keep it, sometimes shit happens, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you waited. Okay. Well, you be careful going forward, Steven.
Oh, wait. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we got to get a little JC up in this motherfucker,
Yeah.
Not PC,
exactly. JC. Yeah. So, on a lesser positive note, a lot of good things dropping this week, but unfortunately we had another incident of racial abuse towards one of our women's players. Bunny Shaw took some abuse after Sunday's loss to Arsenal last week, and some misogynistic chants to the point where she did not feel like she was ready to play in their most recent game. Thankfully, they came across on top, but she decided for her mental health, she needed to take a step away and not participate in that game. The club and Pep, both managers, Gareth Taylor came out and support Pep. I know had some words of encouragement and some positivity to to say towards her. It is absolutely ridiculous that this kind of stuff continues to happen on a damn near weekly basis across all clubs, across all areas of the country, the globe. It just is something that fucking sucks when you see it happen to people, and I wish people didn't suck so much, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree right here with City Blue Peter.
Mm-hmm.
This is their this should be their name tag, honestly, because like it's always I find it real funny that it's always seems to be that club that always has, for lack of better terms, the potty mouths when it in terms of that stuff. I don't like. I just
Mm-hmm.
for me growing up, and I'm not trying to fucking virtue signal or anything. Like I grew up in ethnic neighborhoods as a youth, especially between the ages of like 4 and 7. I mean, I was going to a gospel church in the literal worst part of Pittsburgh. I've never endured it as much or seen it as much as I have within this sport, but most definitely from that club. It's
We all see it.
yeah,
we all know
it's
it.
exhausting at this point to keep hearing that it's even popping up. Not because I don't want to talk about it, but or whatever, but it's just like when we start seeing people for who they are based on merit rather than who they sleep with or the color of their skin, life will be a lot better. The fact
Anytime
that's even being put out there in today's day and age shows how far off the mark you are in society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just I wish I could give a big hug to Bunny because it's just unacceptable. And to really any player that has ever endured that shit, it's unacceptable. There's no place for it anywhere. Doesn't matter if you're on one side of it or the other. I mean, there's just no place for it. It's dehumanizing, and that's all we are. We're all human. We all are guilty of falling short here and there. But to go that far, to be that revved up about a sport that you would go that far to say something so crass, so disrespectful, so just wow.
Yeah.
There needs to be culture
Exactly.
shakeup. It just needs to be a culture shakeup in some form or fashion. It doesn't need to be quite the way some of the things are going now, but I mean, there is common ground that we often do not see, and I think that for all of us, we need to be better about portraying that common ground instead of trying to find ways to systematically devise ourselves. It's ridiculous.
Yep. City also had some news pop out with their fresh launch of a legal challenge against Premier League over sponsorship deals. That's not going away quite yet, is it?
Nope.
So we're breaking out the big guns again.
And it shouldn't. Honestly, it shouldn't. This is exactly what they fucking deserve. You fuck with the bull, you're going to get the horns.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
This is the find out portion of this.
You fucked around. Now you're going to find out. Exactly.
Yeah, APT part 2. Yeah, exactly.
That's all this is going to be.
You're not going to get away with it that easy. So,
no.
I'm glad that they're doing what they're doing.
Right. I mean, listen. Okay, we admit that if we admit in this or have admitted in this, we'll take our fucking our slap on the fucking wrist, right? Our punch on the chin, right? It is what it is. But there are other parts of this that don't exactly math correctly. And why we're being the ones pointed out amongst everybody else who spends astronomical numbers above what we do in total. Like, especially right now with us having spent the most in the winter window, yeah, we signed 4 fucking players.
Yeah.
The market's not cheap anymore. especially if you want quality. There's very, very few times where you find the likes of Emmanuel Akanji at 15 million euros, and he actually blossoms out to be, or even Julian Alvarez, same thing. Very, very few times that you come across that and it works out.
Yeah, this is the state of transfer business now.
Everybody's
spending a lot
in the ass. I'm happy the legal team is going to work.
Absolutely.
Sam Kerr sounds like a piece of shit. Apparently.
I've seen bits and pieces of, I guess, what happened. I have not dove into what transpired quite yet, so I'm going to reserve my opinion until I'm a little bit more educated on said topic. But it seems like there's some drama bubbling there too. But I need to read up on a little bit more to get a clearer picture on what happened before I jump in there and make my feelings known, because I admittedly don't know a whole lot about it yet. So
big facts.
Take check Stefan Borsa. Will do. Get free loans. Sure you can, but see.
Well, guys, that really kind of clears up the city and community news over the last week. About time that we got into a bit of bro talk.
Yes.
Let's get it out of the way. Yeah. Let's get it out of the way. So, for those of you that have been in here and have stuck by us throughout our tenure within the city community, recently there was somebody that went on a podcast to whom which we had connections with. They wore a plagiarized design of ours. If everybody's in here knows, we posted that a while back. I had spoken with the guy about it, and he paid us no mind afterwards, and then wore the shirt on a show. I'm not going to say the show, just because I'm not trying to stir up any more than what's already been stirred up. I made a bad judgment call in posting and using particular people's names, and to that I posted an apology, and I will apologize here to them and to anybody affected by my antics. So I apologize sincerely to all of you, to whom it may have affected, and to the ones that did affect. It was a bad judgment call. I could have handled it better. Every one of us falls short sometimes. There were repercussions to it, and that's all fine and good, but there are also going to be repercussions to the actions that were taken against us. It's not a comforting feeling knowing that there are people within the community that are literally been sitting back waiting to get us, for whatever reason they may have, is beyond me. Nor do I care at this point, but I am genuinely and truly sorry to the people that it affected, and I can't thank you guys more than what I am right now for at least sticking by us.
Yeah.
Yep. I think Joe had a little bit to say on the matter. I just don't want I don't want to overtalk it, because, like I said, there's parts of this that don't deserve energy, and I'm not going to give it to them or to it. I said what I said. I'm apologetic for how I went about it. I'm not apologetic for the feelings that were induced by this particular happening, especially considering that I had conversations with the person about it in the past. So, and with other people that are also associated to it, who are, to me, looking like they're playing dumb. And that's as far as I'm going to let that go. Joe.
Yeah. So it's been a wild, like we said, last 7 days. So I'm going to read kind of verbatim what I wrote down to kind of get my feelings on the situation out. So bear with me as I kind of read from my notes here instead of kind of just speaking from the heart. I wanted it to come out the right way, and it took a while to kind of put down my thoughts on things. So sitting here reflecting on this journey of becoming a part of the City podcast community, and it's been really hard to put into words and emotions right now, given everything that's gone down in the last couple of days. There have been some very incredible highs, and Colby and I have met some really amazing and genuine people. But we've also at this point been exposed to folks who say one thing and then do the opposite and do the other. And it's really a shame. People within the same community, supposed to be a part of the same community, treat people with such disregard and frankly disrespect at this point. On one hand, for me personally, I've met a brother and best friend for life and shared so many amazing memories and moments with my co-host over there. On the other hand, it feels oftentimes we are constantly thrown under the bus and oftentimes outright disrespected because we aren't a part of the in crowd, if you will. And adulthood isn't supposed to be high school all over again. Some folks still think that is appropriate behavior in the community podcast, in the city community podcast world, in day-to-day life. And we, as grown men, refuse to be sucked back into that kind of environment. Those of you who rock with us and support us regularly are the ones that we really care about and matter to us. True colors have been shown recently by a number of individuals, and we do not want, nor do we need their stamp of approval for what we do over here at the Snobby Boys podcast. We built a community of individuals like your guys that are in here tonight, this afternoon, whatever, that join us on a regular basis. And that's good enough for us, for both of us, whether we grow and become a larger podcast and our subscriber numbers go up or whatever. I'm incredibly content with what Colby and I have built together. And whether you rock with us or not, that's fine. It's your prerogative. You either can join us and spend time with us, or you choose not to be affiliated with us or don't want to spend time with us. That is perfectly fine too. Either way is fine. But what will not be tolerated is blatant plagiarism and disrespect. And we also will not be silent when it happens. So please move accordingly when dealing with us. So those were generally my feelings on all of this. And it's unfortunate that through things, people have behaved the way that they have at this point. So Colby was in no way wrong for feeling the way he felt about a design he created being blatantly used in an uncool way, especially after we've already spoken to the folks about it in the summertime. This all goes back to the summer, not a recent development. This isn't about one shirt being worn. It's about a culmination of disrespectful behavior.
Yep.
And that's just anybody who creates something out of their own design in their head and their intellectual property, pretty much. If anybody does that and then sees someone else try to take credit for their work, any human being in my mind would be justifiably and rightfully upset by that happening. And it's anybody who says otherwise is being a hypocrite if they don't think that they would feel the same way Colby felt when all that went down. So,
and guys, listen, the t-shirts aren't for us to make money. It isn't that isn't the point. The point of it is that we wanted to contribute something to the community. We wanted to not stand out, but say, you know what, I contributed something and I'm giving it out to people. And like, I'm being every time I talk to any of you guys, I'm completely transparent. You know, we don't take this money and use it for our personal lives. It literally goes right back into this podcast. You know, we're not here to make money off of City. That's not our job. Our job, our intent of doing this was simply to create a community, meet people, be able to, you know, when we come over there, say that we can put our arm around somebody and know somebody within the community there, you know, that can help us maneuver things a little bit better. I mean, that's just the short and curly of it. I mean, on the grander scale, it's you want to be connected to the people who share the same things. That's what a community is. And it doesn't matter if you've got 30,000 followers, if you've got 300, we're all still on the same mission. Whether you want to do it with me or not is on you. For me, for us, when we stepped into this, all we ever wanted to do was just to hug all you guys and be like, man, we found our fucking people, right? Sad that it's not like that. It is. But regardless of the fact, we're going to continue on doing what the fuck we do, whether you like it or not. We don't care.
Unapologetically
going to be us. We don't care that we're fucking American. We don't care that we haven't been to the Etihad yet. We will get to the Etihad. I promise you that.
And thank you all in the comments real quick.
Yes.
Thank you guys for saying everything you guys said in the comments here. That generally, truly means a lot to both of us. So thank you for continually listening to us. Thank you for the kind words. And we really appreciate you guys supporting us. We really do. So thank you.
Yeah.
Generally from the
bottom of our hearts. Yeah.
So
I mean, Peter, he sits there and he listens to us at work. Like, the fact that you even spend your day with us at any given point means the absolute world to us. We are not out to be the big dogs. We are not out to be all of these things. And we surely don't fucking steal shit from people.
No. Nor are we part of a toxic community or trying to create a toxic community at all. So people who are
original in what we fucking do,
saying that we're a toxic podcast and whatnot are completely off base. That is not our intention. That is not what we're about. So
no, we're not going to take legal action at this point. For my sanity, I'm honestly at the point with the Snobby store where I want to shut it down, just to avoid all of this. Because suffice it to say, this is part of my livelihood, being a graphic designer and a content creator. I don't make money from doing this. I help other people. And that's it. I don't know how else better to put it. Especially as somebody who grew up being an artist. I was in gifted art classes all through middle school, high school. And my artwork and my designs, I do take very personally. Because it's an expression of myself, but it's also me giving in a way. And when it's taken for granted like that and completely disregarded, there's no bigger kick in the fucking balls than that. But that's the fucking sappy shit. We're working past this. We're moving forward. Again, all of you guys that are in here right now, you guys are what we do, or who we're here for. This is what makes us come back literally every single episode, is to have this camaraderie, is to have these type of people not just pushing us along to continue to do this, but helping us grow as citizens.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm still fresh compared to all of you guys. I'm still new. I literally have given up 4 different fucking sports just to learn one. And I take a lot of pride in what I've learned over these past 5 years. And I'm very grateful because it pulled me away from something personally that could have taken me to my death, if I'm being honest. Football changed my life. This club changed my life, and this community is changing my life. And I don't want to give that up for anything. Yeah, sorry for my little emotional rant, but I really appreciate you guys always being here for us, and we can't thank you enough. You should take it personally. Exactly. Exactly. You know, and the fact of the matter is the person whom I had spoken with. I'm not going to give out a specific name or anything like that. But they do a lot for Man City over there, especially when it comes to the ticketing and stuff. I'm sure you can gather context off of what I'm saying without me saying it. I even offered up the bullshit design to him to put on flags, to put on T-shirts, as long as you credit the person who made it. And that's all we're asking for. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for any of that. I just want someone to acknowledge the fact that it was me who made that and gave it out to the world, not some dude named Frank in a fucking closet that nobody knows except for one person. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you all again. Thank you all for just your overwhelming support. Like, you don't understand how much it means to us. You
exactly.
Just yeah.
It's been a very hard week for both of us, and seeing the support that you guys are giving us right now, bringing us both out of a difficult time. So thank you guys.
Definitely
again.
A dark spot.
Can't thank you guys enough. Like we've said it multiple times at this point, but it really does. And I hope you guys see the truth behind the two of us, and that we're not fake. We're not. So whatever you see from other podcast folks posting about us, putting shit out there, please know it's all bullcrap. You guys watch us, listen to us on a regular basis. You know the kind of people we are at this point, because we don't hide behind it. We let you guys in to our personal lives, to our emotions, who we are as real people. So I know that you all know who we are as people. So if you see other folks deciding to insert themselves into a situation that had nothing to do with them at all, please know that they're incredibly off base and looking for attention at this point. So
big facts.
We are as real as they come, and you all know that. So just keep that in mind if and when you see other folks putting our names in their mouths unnecessarily.
We ain't out here looking for soldiers to virtue signal for us. That's not what we're looking for. We're just, you know what I mean? We just basic common courtesy for your brethren is all it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So we're gonna move on.
There you go. For you.
Yes. Damn it. Listen. Don't do anything weird.
It's Steve.
Don't put a fleshlight or anything in it. Unfortunately, there are bitter and twisted fans over here, and you have the right attitude. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're not trying to be better than anybody. We're not out here competing. That is the last fucking thing I'm doing with anybody. And if anything, for those that would actually be smart enough to tell the truth, they would know that anytime that I've ever approached them and wanting to work together, it's always been, I want to create a brotherhood, a fraternity of us that are doing this together, and know that each one of us is there, and be able to bounce ideas off of one another or thoughts or whatever, because suffice it to say, everybody has a different perspective, and that's good. That's a good thing to have. But you have to be able to use that perspective collectively in order for it to be good at all, in my opinion. You see other people doing the same thing you're doing. Why wouldn't it be your first thought in your head, like, man, maybe I should, go talk to him, or, put my arm around him and say, how are you? Who are you? Whatever.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Holes. I'm very proud to be a citizen. Again, like these type of things, these type of comments, like, this is what is going to drive us to keep coming back and doing this shit, guys. It's, like, we're not out here looking for acceptance. That's not the driving force behind this. I'm not looking for acceptance. I know my love for this club. I chose this club amongst all else this late in my life. Not for the fact that they were winning, not for the fact of, nice color, right? I hate United. There's another plus. I love Manchester music. There's another plus. Oh, wait, the band that I grew up listening to is a part owner of the club. Huh. This might be my club. Oh, wait. Oh, and I have a good friend who fucking also supports this club. That means I have something in common with my friend. It's not these things that everybody fucking in their heads. It's ridiculous. Nick came late in the good game. Skate. City till we fucking die. Exactly.
Facts.
All of us. City till we fucking die, man. These colors aren't ever coming off me. Ever.
Nick, yeah, you are the super sub, brother.
Super. Yeah, right. Listen, I need you for that. I need you for that fucking deep midfield cross. All right. Right up the middle.
Right up the middle.
Right up.
You're welcome, Steve Black, for more content for you. The one thing we didn't talk about in the community news portion that I think would be nice to hey man.
Thank you, Steve. Peter, excuse me. Thank you, Peter. That means a lot.
Let's while we're talking broing out, let's look ahead a little bit to Tuesday with Real Madrid.
Real.
They look extremely strong in their keeper position, in their midfield, and their forward line. I'm not sure if you all have noticed or looked on seen the squad list that Real Madrid posted for Tuesday's match, but there are some heavyweight names missing from their defender list. Their crisis in the back line is equal to, if not worse, what we were dealing with earlier in the season. No Carvajal, no David Alaba, no Eder Militao, no Antonio Rudiger. So four of their absolute best defenders not available for this match. They have a lot of wing backs and fullbacks available. Yeah. They do not have a lot of center backs available for this particular match. So it will be very interesting to see what back line they roll out.
For the second leg, there will be 5 instead of the 7 that we'll have at home.
Wow. Yes. So, and lots of potential for folks to miss the second leg. So, and we do talk to Martin over at Mancunian Way quite a bit. So we've had him on. We've talked with him before. So he's a connect we've made. So I'm very interested to see what kind of lineup we roll out.
Yeah.
Granted, we've been struggling for consistency and form ourselves, but I think Madrid also is in that same boat. And if we can somehow put together a performance on Tuesday and put 2 or 3 or 4 past them with that struggling back line that they might have, unless Thibaut Courtois stands on his head, which is entirely possible. He's done it before. There's an opportunity. I'm not saying what's going to happen, but there is an opportunity for our front line of Haaland, KDB, Phil Foden, Savio, Marmouche, whoever's out there. There's an opportunity to be had with a inexperienced and patchwork back line for Real Madrid. So I don't think all hope is lost at this point. We're playing the kings of Europe. They've earned their that title. the chem on that situation would not be great in the EAFC 25 mentality of Ultimate Team. It would be hard to. The chemistry would be awfully low. So there's an opportunity for us on Tuesday to start us off. Maybe this isn't a bad thing. Usually you want the second leg to be at home, but in this situation with their injury problems in the back line, maybe it's better we have the first leg at home and we can try to go out and put a number on them off the gate. So the second leg away is we know we just got to set up shop a little bit and play a little defense, which has been difficult for us, no doubt. So
yeah,
but hey, other side, there we go,
the mug
right there, there it is, right there. So I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that we have an opportunity in front of us, and let's see if we're able to take advantage of it. So super interesting with what they put out for their traveling squad for Tuesday's match.
What would it be for this match if we went 2 strikers up front, Marmouche and Holland? Do it like we could really just do a 4-4-2 and just let them fucking
all attack. What if he goes Salford on us and just throws 2
shit
2 out and out defenders? That's all that's back there.
Everybody else just
full on attackers everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, to put a bunch of them in the back of the net, I mean, it's almost like you bring out your every bit of firepower you have in the front, and put up as many as you can, walking back into the burner battle the next leg. I mean, shit. Yeah, I the only thing but I mean, between 5 yellow cards in the second leg, injuries still at play at that point. I mean, this can be winnable, but we need to put our fucking heads back on.
Maybe it is the challenge of Real Madrid for them to get their heads in the right space. They just needed the proper motivation at this point.
One defender to Nunes. Oh my God! Listen, the whole lot would literally lose their shit if they saw Nunes sitting as the only center half there. Oh my God, that would be fucking. I would laugh in that moment. And Steve Black, I'd be trying to find your phone number just to fucking call and laugh with you.
So, City Peter put in there the players that could be suspended if they get a yellow in the first. So Jude, all their midfielders, a lot of midfielders, which is where they're strongest right now.
And Rudy's going to be out, so we're not entirely worried about him at this moment. But yeah, like this is literally their whole midfield.
So Jack maybe gets some time to try to instigate some folks, and
that's what I'm saying.
Some late challenges thrown in his way to get in people's heads, and at some point get him out there to get inside their heads. So
yeah, that's something that has been a consistent bugaboo for us this week is the amount of times we've got played in the counter. Unfortunately, that's come at the cost of us only having 2 center backs. That's typically when that happens is when we get caught off on the counter is when we only have 1 or 2 people back. So if Pep can get into his fucking head that we just need to at least have 3, we would be in a lot better place with things. But we also haven't had somebody to be able to sustain the right back role proficiently once this season. Not Rico, not Nunes, and quite clearly not Walker.
Yeah.
Put their swimming trunks on.
Dive it, yeah.
Right?
Hey, let's bring out the dark arts, man. Other people do it and get praised for it. I'm looking at you, Arsenal. So,
dude, Mac, that's what I've been saying. I was like, dude, we have to at least put 6 up on the board.
Big number.
Yeah. Defensive form. Yeah, I mean, we have seen nothing but the bus for like the last 2 years. You would think at this point we would know how to dismantle that a little bit better. We just need to keep everything in front of us, guys. That's for these 2 matches. We just need to keep everything in front of us.
Please, no diving in on the wing.
Seriously,
Nino did it. Nunes has been guilty of it recently. We don't need to dive. Just keep him in front of you as much as you can and keep him wide.
Yeah.
Don't let him be a cut in. Just keep him in front. And please, no diving. No diving in.
No diving. There's a no dive.
Unless somebody bumps you and then fling yourself in hopes that they get a yellow card. But only when we have the ball. Not when we're playing defense.
No. Well, you guys got anything else for us in the comments? Otherwise, we're going to start talking Super Bowl shit because it is the Super Bowl. We did earlier in the episode say that we were going to break down the 23 players we have in the squad as to where they would fit in an American football position.
Suffice it to say, I don't think we have anybody that are offensive or defensive linemen. Truly,
no, true that you can just those two positions right off the fucking table. There's no room for fatties in football. So let's talk our predictions, right? Suffice it to say, the NFL has become more and more and more a media circus. Thanks, bud. We've got. No, I'm just kidding. It has gotten so bad to the point that it is, for lack of better terms, it's just scripted. There's no good rhyme or reason why Patrick Mahomes should be in it, considering if you really know the NFL and have been watching through the last few seasons, the last 5, you will know that the Chiefs should be painted in black and white and not red and gold. They have had more and more. What's up, House Captain? Good to see you in tonight. They have had more and more and more calls in favor of Patrick Mahomes. They much to the similarity of years when Tom Brady was in the NFL, where they literally pandered him and I see the same thing happening. I think the NFL is reaching for a storyline right now, especially with them being the first potential three-peat champions in the league's history. Philly's a good team. I'm not going to say that they aren't. Saquon Barkley has been an absolute stud. Anybody that watches the NFL and supports a specific team would want him on their team. I'm hoping, for the sake of the credibility of the NFL, that Saquon literally just blows a hole through them and they win. But because of the way things have been, I'm gonna, hey, Mac, take care, bud. See you next time. I think that, like I said, I want the Eagles to win. I want the Eagles to win decidedly. I just don't think it's going to happen. That's probably the only thing that's good about Super Bowl is the commercials. I am watching the halftime show. I need to know what Kendrick's going to say.
Because it's going to come out. He's going to say some shit, I'm sure.
He's going to say some...
He just won Grammys for a fucking diss track.
Yeah.
So there's more ammo up the sleeve that he has not yet said out loud. So it's definitely going on.
Yeah.
I as a Commanders guy, I can't in hard content root for the Eagles. So for me, I'm here for just utter pandemonium and people being pissed off about the Super Bowl. So bring on the shitty calls that favor Kansas City. Let's just get it all out in the open. Y'all just let it be known what you're trying to do. Let's just do it. Let's roll for it. I'm here for anarchy with that kind of crap. So I'm not rooting for the Chiefs. I'm not rooting for the Eagles. Let's see what happens and what the final score is. And I'm here for all the crazy shit that's about to add. I heard it's buying.
Could get spicy. Hey, listen, shit is going down over here. I'll be hilarious if something pops up like that. You have to take everything that's going on in today's world, especially in the politic sector. You have to laugh a little bit. If you can't find comedy,
yeah, gotta laugh. That's the only thing you do at times.
You just gotta laugh.
So Super Bowl in football terms, think Champions League final.
Yep, 100%.
Think Champions League final. Got two sides. Champions League got two sides of the bracket. Go through the bracket, you get to the final. Biggest game in club footy in the world. This is the same kind of situation. It's the biggest game around for American football. You hope the two best teams are the ones that are in it. so think Champions League final. It's a big spectacle. You got a halftime show where a musical artist gets chosen, and dude,
I mean,
who the fuck knows what's going to happen? You never know.
You never know.
All of the since so many eyes are on this thing on their televisions. This is prime time for companies to spend lots and lots and lots of money on ad space. So you get like the supposed to be anyway the top tier, best of the best commercials from the different big companies. So everybody's watching for commercials. Families are having get-togethers and big parties with
it's just an excuse to party. Actually, it is the second biggest drinking holiday in America next to Thanksgiving Eve.
Yes. So you're going to get a big halftime show. The halftime is usually 15-20 minutes, but at the Super Bowl it goes 30 or so they can do this whole big spectacle. Typically they pull out all the stops and some random not random, but like other secret guests get revealed and get brought out on stage, and everybody freaks out about it and whatnot. So it's a spectacle at this point.
They've made it a weirder spectacle this year. In years past, you don't really see the entertainers, celebrities, being advertised pre-game. Like they listed off a whole slew of fucking actors that were going to be there, like Tom Cruise and fucking everybody and their mom, basically. It's not about them.
It's the product on the field, but the NFL wants it to be, like we said, a spectacle.
Yeah.
And an entertainment event instead of a sporting competition.
Listen, it started going downhill after everybody saw Janet's titty. That's when it started, especially the halftime shows.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, the wardrobe malfunction of our lives. Yeah, I just don't really like this whole we're making it more than what it should be. Like it's about the game. It's about these 106 players that fought for 18 weeks to make it to this particular place. It's not. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about Tom Cruise.
Nope.
First time I saw Super Bowl back in the UK, the only guy I remember was the refrigerator. He was huge. Ha ha ha! Yeah, that's some old school shit right there. The refrigerator. That's some old school. That's like. I think that's right in around the times. Oh no, I think the refrigerator was the 80s. He was in the 80s, but that was just there shortly after the Steel Curtain and Mean Joe Green and the one guy from the Rams, Youngblood. Man, that guy was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about who would slot in where at what position of our 20.
Clear Kev is a quarterback.
100% he's the QB.
He's the starting QB for us.
Yeah, 100%
Holland,
QB.
Holland for me.
I'm
slotting wide receiver or like a flex tight end kind of thing.
I can see that. Okay, yeah, especially with his height. He doesn't have that great of hip rotation.
Yeah,
right. Like that's totally a tight end attribute. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Marmouche, I'd probably put him in as another maybe a slot receiver.
Yeah. Yep. Shifty. He's quick. Speed. I like that. Not a lot of size, so he's not playing running back for us.
Yeah. So okay, this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I said this maybe last year. Doku is a running back.
100%.
Doku's
he's short, but he's compact. He's strong.
He reminds me of a bulky Darren Sproles.
Yes, absolutely. He can play some running back for sure.
Yeah, and he could probably even take who was Chris Johnson? Chris Johnson was kind of a double threat. Obviously, he was a lot better through the middle, but if I remember correctly, he did take passes out of the backfield, and I could totally see Doku being that little like tight end screen bubble route type thing. Yeah.
Joey Barton would have been a straight up like middle linebacker, strong safety, dirty ass motherfucker who's just there to
Your
get
enforcer.
in on the piles. Yes.
Yeah.
Get in on the piles and like pinch and grab and mess with people at the bottom of the pile when that happens. So
slot receiver. We're catching Jack on that shit. All right, let's go. So Nunez, I think Nunez would be a good punter. One job.
That's Eddie. That's Eddie.
It could be Eddie. Yeah, you're right. He's the punt. No,
or Eddie can be the kicker.
He's the place kicker.
Yeah, Eddie's a place kicker. That's fair.
Foden
slot receiver. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, Foden definitely a slot receiver. He could also be a tailback.
He can be that third down back catching passes.
Yeah,
out of the backfield. He's shifty.
Trying to think of who. So
Ruben's definitely like outside linebacker.
I'll see. Oh, I'm sorry, Ruben. Yeah, Ruben's definitely like an edge rusher, outside linebacker type. Mm-hmm. Bernie is a cornerback.
Inside slot corner too. I think. He's
not our feature corner. Yeah, he's not our feature corner.
That's probably Savino. Maybe Savino plays a little corner.
Yeah. Jack could also be kind of a running back with them fucking calves, bro.
Yeah.
He can plow the middle. Haha.
You're welcome. For sure.
Gundo could be like third quarterback.
Yeah, he's the clipboard guy.
Yeah. He's the one you see on the sidelines. He's all dressed, but who's a wide receiver? Wide receivers, Holland. Holland has to be a wide receiver or a tight end. Who else did we say were receivers?
Maybe we throw Yashko out there as a receiver. He's got some wheels.
No.
He's got some jumping ability.
No, see him being a defensive player. I see him being opposite end edge rusher to Ruben.
I can dig that.
Like too. I can see them being like a Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt combo.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? A giver, not a taker. That's right. Kushinov. He could be middle linebacker.
Yep.
Pacey.
Definitely.
Strong. Raw.
Yep.
Kanji. Who's the smart guy on the NFL on an NFL team? Quarterback, but
put him at tight end.
That sounds good. I can see that. That sounds good.
He's fast. He's physical.
Stonesy.
Are all these actual positions on
just sexually right? Listen. No. In all seriousness, you should listen to the commentating on Sunday or Monday night football games. They get bad, and they do it so effortlessly that it's just like it kind of whizzes you by after a while. But then when you really like, if you go back and watch the replay, you're like, what the fuck did he just say? Yeah. Dude, Eddie's the place kicker.
And we're getting like 70-yard field goal. As soon as we get close to midfield, we're in field goal kicking range for him. So we're just putting bombs in and one after the other with him.
Although, from what you told me about KDB at Green Bay,
he's got some accuracy too. Well,
he's got some accuracy.
Yes.
No, listen, Peter.
There's a legend for that.
Listen, you know what? this isn't ignorance. This is you asking questions that most wouldn't. So I'm okay with you wanting to learn our game. I think that's cool.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Super cool.
And then
Foden's 100% a slot.
Steve asked, is WWE bigger than Super Bowl?
No. Not even close.
This is like the biggest sporting event across the country for them, because this brings in like the diehards watch football every weekend. This is like a cultural event pretty much, where other people watch. A lot of times you get everybody there, they're just watching maybe for the commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just watching for the halftime show, but they're a part of it and people are watching it because everybody's going to be talking about it tomorrow. So if you don't watch it or you don't follow along at least a little bit, next day at work, next day at school, everybody's talking about it. You don't got nothing to say. You're not a part of the conversation, the topic. So it's more everybody's watching, and they're looking, and everybody's watching for different reasons. You got a guy on the couch that's like heavily involved in the game, watching everything. You got his wife on the other side of the couch. You got a fancy guy. You got the guy who's betting on every other play on the next thing. You got the wife and the kids that are like watching for the commercials, just waiting for the break to watch the next reveal. Oftentimes, big movie trailers get revealed during these things. I want to say Fantastic Four is dropping another new one that has going to have more information than the last one. So you'll see special movie releases get their stuff done. So you got everybody's watching for different reasons. So it brings like the whole family and friends. Everybody's watching at one time.
Yeah.
So it's the biggest event. So
WWE on the scale of the biggest sporting events amongst all American sports, if we're gonna put it on a ranking list, it would probably be like third. Super Bowl, right? And then there's a part of me that still thinks that the World Series is still kind of high up on the thing because the older generation hasn't exactly kicked the bucket yet. Baseball has I would say it's been on a decline, especially over the last couple of seasons, because they've altered the pitch count, which was never existent before. So now the games aren't taking up to 4 fucking hours to have.
2.5 now, which is much better.
Much
definitely that's helping out baseball for sure.
Yeah. I would the NBA finals I would probably put that in the third tier. NHL finals definitely fourth tier. Even though it's the NHL finals are honest, the whole NHL
playoffs are fantastic.
Is awesome to watch. That's the best hockey you're going to get.
Peter, everybody wishes that the day after was a national holiday and everybody would just get the day off from work or from school.
It's the most taken off day after.
Yes. So folks will definitely be using sick days. And then house captain, I want to say this year I saw the range, and this is a range, so the average is up, depends. They start at like $5,000 and they go upwards of $55,000, depending on where you're sitting, box seats, all that kind of stuff. So it is not an inexpensive ticket. Are you checking? And
how
close was I?
I'm looking on Ticketmaster right now. See tickets. Come on. Excuse me. So right now for two tickets in the upper section, on the NFC side, that is $2,587. For a club level seat, I'm seeing 6,500, 5,500, 4,500. But then there's also some of these tickets, like I said, that are upwards of, or that, like Joe said, that are upwards of like in the $10,000 range. It's ridiculous.
It's bananas.
Yeah. Well, and what's even more bananas, and just to kind of relate the prices here to what the Club World Cup will be, a decent seat for Club World Cup over here at one of our matches, city match, you're looking at like $300 to $500. That's more than an NFL regular season ticket. Kind of ridiculous.
Sporting events in the U.S. are big business for folks.
Massive business.
So it's very hard for folks to...
Free safety stones. I'm going to think on that one.
Yeah, definitely nuts.
Yeah.
Roger, absolutely agree. We mentioned him earlier on in the show before you jumped in. I think safety for sure, strong safety, free safety, either one. You can just, exactly. You can, it's.
Listen, I've said this 100 times on here, and I hate repeating it, but like I've said before, Peter, my NFL team, I was born in Pittsburgh. When you're Pittsburgh, it's just that's it till the end. Doesn't matter where you move. For me to go sit on the away side, right? And over here we don't have sections quite the way y'all do over there. Everybody kind of sits intermingled, and there is a home and there is an away side. I sit on the away side team in the top tier. That's a $210 ticket to be in the nosebleeds, and it takes roughly 30 years to be even considered for season tickets for this team. You have to hope that somebody in your family dies and passes it down to you if they have them. It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. 40 pound for a game is nothing, man. I'd be there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be there all the fucking time.
And the NFL typically, for those who know, it's an 18 game season. 17. So there's 18 weeks, 18 week right. season. They get 17 games. So there's only so many like home games to go to. So typically, because of the small selection of games, they tend to jack up the prices up. So
it's much the same as things over there. Your team's winning, they're going to boost the prices. Your team's losing, they're going to lower them. That's very is rudimentary the word that I'm looking for there. It works the same amongst all sports. You know what I mean? Like you go to if we were to go see Leicester at home versus City at home, you're going to see a massive jump in ticket prices. Same way as over here, like baseball. Like say the Washington Nationals are top of their division, right? That's like a $50 ticket. Easy. They're at the bottom of the division, that's like a $7 ticket.
Yeah, good example of that are the Orioles, actually.
Orioles, yeah.
Because about 4 years ago, when they were the worst team in baseball, you could get into a game for $5. Now, the cheapest seats you can get is usually
upstairs,
22 to $30.
Yep,
somewhere around that range. So it depends also highly on how good your team is doing. 30 for an away is set with it, so that's the price standard for everybody. There's no like the teams and the clubs over there, I guess, don't have autonomy to set those kind of prices, or the over here since a lot of people buy their tickets on like Ticketmaster and StubHub and things like that. You're doing it through like a third party vendor kind of situation, and they get to kind of price what the tickets are going to be instead of getting it directly from the club. So it's
fees that they put into
hidden fees, yeah,
bullshit,
surcharges, and all that nonsense, which turns a $60 ticket into a $120 ticket real quick.
Yep. Yeah, and even in preseason, when the team comes over here, I mean, we're not paying astronomical prices compared to our standards, but they're certainly higher for what a preseason match should be. I mean, Green Bay, I think each one of us, when we went, we spent about $120 to sit where we were sitting. When we went to North Carolina, it was, I think, roughly 70 a piece.
Yeah, right around that.
When we went to Columbus, it was a little bit more towards 100. Yeah, I mean they'll gouge us over here just because they know they can make a buck off of us because a lot of us are none the wiser.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how often do they come around too?
Yeah, much like the Super Bowl, where it's an entertainment spectacle. These preseason friendlies where they're having these special clubs come across the pond and play here. It's an event. It's a big event, so they know that they can charge money because people are going to want to go to it just because of what it is. Yes, that 100% that
sports is officially become a business. It's been like that for 100 years, but it's only more prevalent now because of where all of us are standing in an economic sense. You know what I mean? It's like games used to be a lot more affordable, but I mean, with the price of everything, they're taking advantage of that, and you can definitely see it when you go to the concessions at any of these events too. I mean, you're spending 10-15 bucks on a $3 beer that you can get from the store.
Yeah, the big boys, the 24 ouncers are usually 15 to 18 bucks, depending on if you get domestic or an import, or an import or something. The
imports we get are fucking lousy. I'm not gonna lie.
The options are not great.
And apparently, America's beer now is Modelo's.
I enjoy Modelo at a.
I do too,
event.
but
I'm not picking it to drink
sell
at home.
That much. I don't think they sell that much.
Agreed. So it's big business now, man, and got about 2 hours until kickoff. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. What do you?
For those who are watching.
What do you eat? What are you eating on for the Super Bowl?
As soon as we're done here, my ladies are all extremely ready for some grub. So I think I'm going to go. I got to pick up a couple of things at the grocery for lunches tomorrow, but then they're going to let me know what they want to scarf down on dinner wise. So
trust me, we know.
You're not wrong and not taking any offense about it.
Hey, listen, we're not uncultured. Definitely have had some good beers. It's not to say that our American bars don't bring over some good imports, but it has to be the right person. They have to be a true beer connoisseur for that to ever take place. Otherwise, your taps are the typical American Budweiser, Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light, all trash. All trash. Yes. My favorite beer is Julius Echter, and it comes from Bavaria. Shit is bomb, especially with a steak or a burger. Bruh.
German and Belgian beers are definitely my favies.
Yes. I've definitely chugged down a few 1664s. I'm sure our boys over there know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Whew. Man, it's good beer for cheap. Better than what we got over here. That's all. That's the only reason I'm saying it's just better than what we got over here.
Truth.
Righto. We're at 2 hours 8 minutes. I cannot thank you all enough for listening to us every episode, bullshitting about our club. Thank you for being here for us, especially through this incredibly there's so many different words I can use for it, but during this time, thank you for just being here for us during this time, because without you guys, we aren't here, and we love and appreciate you guys more than you can know. And yeah, just
thank you,
and keep coming back. Thank you. Keep coming back.
Keep jumping in the comments with us.
Yes. Until Wednesday, where we will be reviewing the Real Madrid match. I don't got anything for you other than Cmon City.
That's all that needs to be said.
All it needs to be said. I can find Boddington's easily. Listen, we got Boddington's over here, bruh. We got
He's
it.
on this side. He's on this side. He's saying he can find it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You are on this side. I forgot about it. That's right. Wait a minute. Aren't you in PA? Are you in PA? Is that what it was? I think I'm pretty sure my local retailer though has Boddington's. It's a good one. I don't know if you've had it, Joe. It's
I have not.
It's smooth. So like think of a Guinness, but like make it a blonde. It's pretty good. Nitrous can and everything. Yeah, so he is in PA. He is in PA. Yes. Dude, we've got to if you're this close, there's got to be at some point where we like meet up and watch a match together. I mean, I would love to like watch with somebody who's from over there or like that is as big of fans as we are. We don't have there's not a lot of us over here in the States, so it'd be cool to watch your traditions at play versus ours. I think that would be a cool thing to do. Yeah, that's right. It has a little shaker doohickey thing in there, just like the Guinness cans. All right, Joe's checked out. I'm checking out. We'll see you guys on Wednesday, like I said, when we review the Real Madrid match. Hopefully we come out with a big dub. Until then, I'm going to leave you guys with some musica. I think that one.
Alrighty then.
No, I'm just kidding. What happened? Huh? I don't know.